Hello. Right, I'm going to just try and, that makes me a difference. Maybe. Hello, my darlings. It is Susie Ashworth here, Mind Shifter Messaging Mentor. And I think the first thing we have to acknowledge is that I am looking like your granny this evening. And the reason being is that we've had no heating. Hey, Susan. Hey, Karen. For 2 whole days. And we're about to hit freezing. Like, it's really cold. So there's a heater down there. But yeah, we are hoping, we are all praying that the boiler solution is going to be sorted tomorrow. So that is why I've got my dressing gown on and the scarf. Thanks, Mary. I know you're being sarcastic and I'm fully dressed. Anyway, I wanted to come on because one of the lovely LLE ladies left a video message today, and I just thought this is something that so many people go through that I wanted to give my response to her, but to all of you peeps who I know at some stage or another have experienced or will experience this. I experience this all of the time. And the first thing that I want to talk about, and I'm going to shout out to my friend Maru Iabicella. I'm sure that I've pronounced her surname wrong, but she talks about this a lot, and I really respect what she has to say about this. So I am sharing. Hey Claire, you've missed a bit where I've talked about why I'm sitting here in my dressing gown. You'll have to watch the beginning. I definitely feel that I need to acknowledge that to you, because you might be like, what the actual? Anyway, so pedestals. So this lovely lady was like, Susie, I really look up to you. And I greatly receive that when people say nice things like that to me. But it also makes me feel uncomfortable because I don't ever want to be put on a pedestal, because I do things imperfectly all of the time. And when we look up at people, you can't help, you put yourself on a different level. And the reality is that we are all on the same level. Like, when you're on a pedestal, the only way is down. I don't want to go down. I don't want you to kind of observe things that you think, oh, you know, that's a bit cack. So Maru talks about the fact that we just have to remove all of the pedestals. So whether we are sat next to Anna Wintour and the Queen at front row of Fashion Week, or we are sat next to the granny on the bus, everybody deserves the same respect, because everybody's going through their own journey, everybody has a story, and everybody has gifts to share. So that's the first thing, shout out to Maru, that I wanted to say about the pedestals. The other thing is that you can only be inspired and you can only see amazing things in other people if you are energetically aligned to those things as well. So anything that you're seeing and anything that you're observing, it means that you are very, very capable of achieving these things too. And I talk about this a lot. Like, I feel like my mission is to help wake people up so that they realize just how much magic is at the end of their fingertips. And I come on more or less every single day, and so many people will never see it, will never hear it, or will start to hear it and switch off because they are so not aligned, they are so not ready to hear the message, they are so not ready to believe that they are capable of creating magic that they completely close down. So anybody that is in my groups or invested in my programs or comes and sees me on my Facebook page, the reason that you're here, if you're feeling inspired, is because you know in your own way, so not the way that I've done it, but in your own very special way, you can achieve and do and create beautiful, magical miracles for yourself. So the reason that you're seeing it is because I'm reflecting your greatness back at you. So I want you to really, really take that on board. So that's the pedestal bit. Now, what really made me think, oh, is when she was talking, she talked about having this big epiphany and this big just confirmation and affirmation that she was allowed to move forward with this big idea. And yesterday felt so excited and energized and just ready to take on the world. And then she slept on it, and then she woke up, and then today she's felt like dog shit. Today she's had all of the voices and all of the words going around in her head saying, who the fuck do you think you are to be thinking about this thing that's much bigger than you? Like, why are you not just sticking with what you know? You're doing all right. Like, keep it local. Keep it local. And that push and pull, that knowing yesterday how great it felt and how exciting it felt, and then today just feeling shit scared and actually a bit pissed off and angry that she wasn't still on that high. And she was just like, has anybody else experienced that? And I'm like, hell to the yes. We all experience those types of feelings when we are about to go through. Some people call it the terror barrier. Some people, you know, I just call it expansion. When we're about to, hey Anya, when we're about to go through to the next level. And what's interesting is that I give myself permission to one dream big. Like, why the fuck shouldn't I do it? Like, why the hell should this woman not do the thing that she's thought about? Well, because you don't know enough. Okay, well, I'm just going to learn some more stuff to give me the knowledge that I need to do to take the next step. Or I'm just going to invest in somebody who does know it, who can show me what to do. Or I'm just going to invest in someone who does know it and they can do it for me. Like, that's the process I go through when it's like, oh, you don't know enough. Okay, well, I'm just going to get the knowledge that I need. Okay, so I do that. Or I just think, I don't need to know everything right now. I just need to know what's the next step. And that is really, really helpful when you don't have the money to invest in more courses and people to do it for it. I'm just going to focus on what the next step is. But I give myself permission to do that. I also give myself permission to look like a dick. And when I'm talking about looking like a dick, I mean just failing. I don't actually believe that you look like a dick when you fail, by the way, but this is that's what's underlying our fear when we're worried about judgment and when we're worried about getting it wrong and we're worried about it not working out. I give myself permission to know that not everything that I do might work out. I don't spend a lot of time on it though, peeps. I really don't spend a lot of time on that because it feels uncomfortable and it feels really icky. And so I just choose to acknowledge that it might not work out. I get kind of frustrated with myself when I sit in that crap for a long time, but I also know that it's part of the process and it's part of growing. And I posted on my Instagram yesterday that I had this week has been such an amazing week, and I had this real sense of not being enough yesterday. And I had created this whole massive story. And I was just saying to Jerome, I'm really annoyed that I have allowed myself to even go here. It's so ridiculous. And then today, that feeling was a little bit less. And this afternoon, it was a little bit less. But I know that I have got work to do in really digging deeper into my value and understanding that I don't need that affirmation from anybody else. You know, that fear of not being accepted or that fear of getting it wrong or that fear of judgment is just, it robs people of their dreams. And that's that experience. So this lady, she has a choice at this time. And the choice is to listen to the voice that says, stay safe, you need to stay small, or she has a choice to say, fuck it, I'm just going to do it because it doesn't really matter if it doesn't all pan out right now. So it's that whole idea that you can't get it wrong, you win some and you learn some. So as I'm just saying, it's so encouraging to hear that you feel like this too sometimes. I do. And again, it's really easy. I was speaking to a client who was just like, I know this stuff. Why? And it's just like, I know this stuff, but we're continually growing and evolving. And, you know, that's why I work with a coach, because sometimes I need someone to be like, Suze, get a freaking grip. You've got this. And sometimes I can do that for myself. But yeah, it happens. And in the type of environment we're in, social media environment where we're watching people all of the time in the 15-second clips, it can magnify those feelings of insecurity easily. And, you know, that's just our job, is to recognize the, I don't know if this is a word, the untruth. Is untruth a word? It's our job to recognize what isn't true, and anything that is I genuinely believe that anything where we find ourselves being self-critical about who we are is, I've got loads of words in my head. I'm like, is that a word? I was like, dishonoring. Yeah, dishonoring is a word. Dishonoring our power, that is an untruth. You know, it's our job to recognize that, catch it, and then take the next step. And so my point is, with this beautiful lady, is that she has a choice. She's at a crossroads now. Most people retreat. And most people say, it feels too scary. I want to go down the tried, it's a Susie, so yeah. I want to go down the tried and tested route. And again, another one of my mentors yesterday, I think it was on the gram, she wrote, always go for the scarier option. And I think that probably 99% of the time, it's true. Karen says, I'm really listening to and holding on to, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail, to give me strength and focus in. I love that. Really do hold on to that. And that isn't about taking wildly crazy risks. And I think there's a couple of people in our group who are saying, oh, this is a big investment. I don't know whether to do it or not. It feels really scary. And I think that when it comes to your cash, I think asking yourself, what's the worst case scenario, is a very powerful question. And asking yourself, can I deal with the worst case scenario? Because 9 times out of 10 are the fight or flight and the fear mechanism that kicks into play. It means the worst case scenario is always 5 billion times worse than what you think it can be. And if you know you can deal with the story that your head's creating, can I deal with that? Yes. Then in my book, it's worth taking the risk. If you know that you can't deal with those negative consequences, then I don't think you should take the risk. But I also think you need to tune back in. How powerful am I? How resourceful am I? How creative can I be? And if I'm being resourceful and I'm being creative and I'm asking for the support, do I think I could deal with that worst case scenario? Again, if the answer is yes, then step into the fear. So, long story short, everybody gets the pull back as we are going and attempting to walk into expansion. Everybody gets the pull back. Everybody's on the bungee rope. And the choice that we have is to either go with it or ask somebody to give it a little snip so we can just walk forward and dive off the edge of the cliff. Walk forward and dive off the edge of the cliff, you will fly. You will fly. And if you don't fly, then we'll catch you. so it's all right. Right, my lovelies, I'm going to have my dinner. It's late again. Jerome and I just had a call, which was really good. The lovely Una Archer. And now we need to eat. Right, my beauties. Mwah. Jump in. I need to get details for your launch. I think you sent me. Anyway, right. Love you all. Take care. Bye.